Hello and welcome to Fun Fresh Friday.
Hello,
Hello,
hello.
Sarah.
Hello, Meta. Hello, everybody out there listening. Welcome. Fun
Well,
Fresh Fridays.
yes, and it's fun and it's Friday.
And it's
And
fresh here in Australia.
and look, we're and it's
Even though I look quite hot here, it's humid and it's wet. So it's kind of cooled down now a lot. Yeah. We've
oh,
had a lot of rain here in Queensland, Queensland, Australia. I'm not sure if you've heard, we've had amazing, terrible floods, terrible floods.
really? Oh
Mm,
my. Oh
yeah.
gosh.
But
And
we're good
and
here
look.
in Melbourne.
And look, and we're both looking fresh
We are, as always.
as always.
If we can say so ourselves.
Yes, yes. So do you have a shout out?
A shout out. I would like to shout out to, who do I want to shout? To Maria. Maria Capillari she's in New South Wales at the moment, I believe. Yeah, a very dear friend of mine. Yes, that I met. She's an Aussie from Melbourne, or no, Melbourne or Canberra, I can't remember, but we never met here, but we met in Italy. Can you believe it?
Wow.
And we've been
That
great friends since.
wow, that's amazing. Well, I have a shout out. And this shout out is to a very dear friend of mine. I just love her to death, to Stefania. My
And you
my
have another
Stefania.
Stefania in your life? You haven't told me.
No, no, there's only one. There's only one Stefania. Yeah, I wanna do a shout out to you.
I'm here.
I know. I know. It's sometimes we just we're so used to being here together and talking to each other, but you just give uh some accolades, some thank yous, some you're just a breath of fresh air. You're just a genuine, loving, caring friend. And I just wanted to say that. And I wanted to show what a loving, caring, genuine friend had done for me today. Look at that. I know the
Wow.
picture doesn't do it justice, but look at this beautiful rose. Look at that rose right there.
I know
Isn't
they're
that
quite there, right? So they got the right order. Wonderful.
yes, isn't this beautiful?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
just
like, oh,
beautiful. Thank you so much. I
it's
am
so
just thank you.
embarrassed now.
No, don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. So, our topic of the day. Oh,
Ooh, ooh.
go
Yeah.
ahead because you are the lead today.
Yes, I was thinking and thinking and thinking. I thought, what can we talk about today? And I know usually I leave it to the last minute, but we often we have a lot of us, maybe not all of us. We have, we struggle with saying yes or struggle with saying no, and we keep saying yes, but when we really mean to say no, and it's never really easy,
Hmm.
particularly challenging, I believe, if you have said yes or if you've already said yes and committed to something and you really meant no, but you didn't say no and you weren't able to say no and you don't know how to say no. I think that's something that I have personally experienced. And
Mhm.
sometimes I fall back into that. I won't lie. I am, and I catch myself and then, ask myself the important questions. But, we worry about, that we can show up being unreliable or show up as being someone that, can't keep our word, or that we burn our bridges with friends,
Right.
family, or, anyone in our lives. And how do we stop saying yes when we really want to say no?
Mm, how do we? So first off, first off, why do we? Because I'm guilty. I'm gonna say that right now. I am so guilty of always saying yes.
Me too.
Very guilty. When I saw that topic from you, and I was like, why do I always say yes?
Mm,
Knowing inside that I want to say no, knowing this, knowing that, putting too much pressure on me, putting too much, I already have all of these projects and so many things going on. And, but then I still say yes. So then I wind up waking at 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes just to finish a project, or um, so I'm trying to figure out why I always have to say yes.
mm,
That's a question as to, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one.
no, we've all
Yeah, I have,
culprit of that. We're
right.
all.
Yeah. I have to do that today, but it is your fault if you say yes and you're begrudging. I had to learn that. That is true. I mean, but so to me, I know when to say no. When I say no, I mean it. But to others, I just can't say no,
So
you know.
why is that? Why is that, Zanetta? Break it down. What's the
Hold on. Spread yourself too thin. Past that. Oh, hello. Hello, Phil.
Hi, how are
Yes,
you? Come
we
on,
get to
let's
see
join
your
the conversation, Phil.
yeah, we get to see your comments now, Stefania. That is
Yeah,
wonderful.
I've sorted it out.
Good. So, I think for me, it's because I want the ones that that I can't say no to. I wanna put it that way. I want them to succeed.
Mhm,
Because they're coming to me for help, or they're coming to me for guidance, or they're coming to me for any kind of assistance. So I will say yes because I want them to be successful. And I think that's where I get hung up on. Even though I'm very stretched thin, well, past thin,
mm,
past thin. Yeah. So that's that's what I think about me. I just
yeah,
wanted to, I want them to, I want them to succeed, and that's why I can't say no.
mm. Well, I'm gonna talk a little bit about my past
No, let's do it.
because I think well, no, I don't think. I know I have definitely grown from the past and past experiences, but I know in the past, uh, I have struggled with saying no. What's Phil saying? I can't say yes all the time. Yeah, absolutely. You can't because it's detrimental to yourself. And that's what I learned the hard way. And I think in the past, I was, had this, I guess, preconceived idea of wanting to be perfect, wanting to make
Mm,
sure, I come across perfect and I come across that I'm, caring about everybody else and putting everyone else first and not making anyone feel uncomfortable because my no, when I knew that my no would make them feel uncomfortable. I also knew that my no could also make me feel rejected. And,
mm,
how many times do we um, know that our no can make someone feel, um, make them feel rejected or make us rejected? Either way, it works either
right,
way.
right.
So I think it was all about doing things for others rather than doing it for yourself. And, unfortunately, I think painstakingly, we learn because it just gets very painful by just continually saying yes because we end up realizing that we're not happy. So, yeah, as far as my past goes, yeah, I used to be definitely um, a people pleaser. I won't lie. and until I realized that it wasn't doing me any justice. So nowadays, I think I've learned how to deliver the no, which is different.
Mm,
Delivering the no, I feel, is very important in a way that's obviously authentic and real to you, because when you're able to be authentic and real, you can say no. You can,
mhm,
because it's real. Now, if that person is going to jump up and down or do whatever, you got to understand that's their reaction, that's their story,
right.
nothing to do with you. Whereas before, I think I just, took it all on, and that's what was making it really, really difficult.
Yeah.
Yes, so we've got lots of comments today.
Yeah. Monica said, even today, my mom said that she was coming to my house today and staying overnight. Who can say no to your mom, right? But I had to call my mom and say that it's not good time because my dynamic has changed and she was okay. Yeah. And Phil said, we learn from all of our experiences. That is so true. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. And I think also, like what Monica is saying right here, I actually love serving people, but I had to learn that I could not do it at all. And that's what it is. I love to serve. It's like in my DNA. I love to serve. I love to, give, whatever it is that the person is asking for. And I would always find time. I would always try to find time to give or to say yes. Sometimes I won't say yes right away, but there's a
Mhm.
caveat to that. But I will say, can we do it at a later time? Or I'm a little bit tied up right now. Can we do it at 4 o'clock? Or can we do it? Can I call you later? So instead of me saying no right away, you know, I can't do it today. Yeah, I can't. I don't find. I was looking through my text trying to see if I ever said no.
And had you? No.
I'm saying no now.
Right. There's actually a book that's called How to Say No Without Feeling Guilty.
I do have that book somewhere. Yeah.
Um, yeah, without feeling guilty, and it's that's what it's about, because we get into our guilt, don't we? We start feeling really guilty, and possibly, that person that's in front of us that we're dealing with may also act in a way that can make you, not make you, because no one can make you feel guilty, but may say something or express in a way, oh, but I was counting on you, or I really thought you were going to do it. Like when someone
Mm,
says that to you,
yeah.
um, that just like puts on, lays on more guilt, doesn't it? It kind of like packs it
Yes.
even more.
Yes. Yes. And like what you said, nobody can make you feel guilty, but you,
But
you take on that guilt. I mean, it's how it's received, right? It's
Mhm.
how it's received. And I can see right now, even at my job, Zanetta, can you do this? Zanetta, can you do that? Zanetta, can you do this? And I'm constantly saying, yeah, yes, yes. Oh, I'll get it done. Oh, and then I find myself so stressed out, so spazzed out, um, that it's affecting everything external, and so yeah, even at work, I do it. I can't say no.
Well, that is a real problem. And I think too, the other thing is when we have already committed to yes because we couldn't say no, and then we get angry. I don't know about you, we get angry with ourselves. Ultimately, we get angry with ourselves because why didn't I say no? Why couldn't I say no? Why? And I don't really want to do it. I really don't want. And that's when all that, anger, resentment starts festering up inside yourself. That, we have explosions,
Yeah,
meltdowns. We have all sorts of things going on within us.
right.
which then will then vibrate, reflect back onto the people close to us or our loved ones, to the ones we actually said yes to. So what are we doing? Like that's the heart, that's the part that we really got to be, conscious of,
Yeah,
because it will affect us in great ways.
yeah. Phil agrees too. He gets angry with himself too. Yeah,
Right. We
yeah,
do.
yeah,
And that's the worst anger, I think. It's actually worse than being angry with yourself than being angry with someone else, because it's, best. You knew you could have done it another way, but you chose to do it, what you thought they wanted to hear. And that's what
yeah.
really makes it
And
horrible.
then your anger is projected to somebody else. That is
Correct.
an easy target.
Mhm.
Poor Jeff.
Poor Jeff. So what's been happening of late that you've been projecting your anger on others, Anetta?
Poor Jeff. Poor Jeff. And that's what it is. Yeah, I just have an issue saying no. I do. I have an issue saying no. Because I think I think I think you hit it head on earlier, and I'm going to confess.
Okay.
I'm a perfectionist.
Oh, no.
No.
I
No.
would never have said that. No.
Yeah, 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 because just like what you said earlier, when you were saying it, I was like, "Oh my god, that is so me." You know, um, that I present myself as having all of this, knowledge or being good at some things and um, coming forth as, confident and knowing, what to do and how to do it and being able to take it on and yeah, that's me.
So would you say you're still very much a perfectionist?
Yes. See, I can't say no.
That's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just really, I guess, the fact that you are owning it, that's the first step. That's the
Yeah.
first step. Because you can actually catch yourself when you are being overly perfect. And I'm sure you're probably not as perfect, like you're not really hung up on it as you were, like say 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I think, we always grow out of it a little bit. I know when I was 10, 20 years ago, I was even worse. Like, oh my God, it was painful. I think it was actually painful for people to be around me because it was so, yeah, yeah, I think so. But for
Um,
me, it was just like, it's got to be perfect, and it's not perfect. And that perfectionism can, yeah, roll into all this that we're talking about, how to stop saying yes when you really want to say no.
yeah.
So how do you feel when you have agreed on something, Zanetta, and you didn't want to, but you did say yes because of, you're wanting to serve or wanting, is it, usually when it's because you want to serve, it's coming from a place that you want to serve, right? So I don't think that's a problem. It's when it's coming from a place of a guilt or feeling like you have to because you either want to be the good wife or the good sister or the good friend or the good employee. I don't know. Yeah,
Yes.
and you commit to saying yes when you really wanted to say no.
Yes.
Right. So knowing that you really want to say, how do you deal with it? Do you ever go back and uh, change your commitment, or do you just stick to it because you want to be show up as being perfect?
I commit to it.
Commit to it.
Yeah, I commit to it. And, still sometimes the outcome is good, even though I'm dreading I should have said no, but I get something out of it. It becomes a good day, or, we had fun, kind of thing. And then also I'll start saying to myself, oh, okay, well, it wasn't that bad. So I'll use those experiences to continue to go ahead and continue with the commitment, even though I want to say no, even though I don't want to go there because I'm gonna be a good wife or a good friend. know? um, uh, so yeah, I would think about that. Well, remember last time you didn't want to go and then you had a good time. So those are my excuses that comes in my mind
Mhm.
that I continue to say yes. So now my friends gonna be like, I wonder if she came over just to
Right. So, and have you ever, turned it around and said, "Look, I really can't do it," or never? You've been so, because you're quite, I know you're quite, um,
full.
committed,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I think that also I kind of feel that that military background you have too, has plays out in, your life as well. Would you say that? Because I know other people that have been of service in the military, that's something very strong in them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that has a lot to do with it too, because in the military, you're trained to take all kinds of different um, tasks, scenarios, different things that come your way to be able to handle it all. So, it's, uh, we always say, hoorah, hoorah. That's our answer. Our answer is hoorah.
Which means, like,
Means,
okay, like,
yeah,
we can do
gung
it.
ho, yes, let's go. Let's go. Let's go do it. Um, that has a lot to do with it, and it also, just being, transparent. It also has a lot to do with my past, to where uh, it was my way of getting away from my situation, escaping from my situation. So I take on tasks, I take on projects, I take on, different things. I remember you posted about, do you want to get high without using any drugs? I was like, oh, this is a juicy one. And you were talking about dance, yeah, and you were talking about dancing. I was like, wow, yeah, I was a choreographer.
I
We
know,
had
I read that.
Yeah,
I
we
read
had a
about
dance
you.
group. Yeah, we started teaching other, dance groups, and I would accept these different things, and we would practice. I mean, like crazy, and I would say yes, 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 just to get away from my situation. So I think that has trickled into, my old adult life, that I'll say yes just to get away from this situation because it's overwhelming me right now. So let me do this, and then I'll have this, and now this is getting overwhelming because I know that there's this, and then somebody else asks me to do something, and I'll say yes. Oh, okay, yes, so that I can get away from this situation and get away from. It becomes a domino effect, Stefan. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that because I've found myself saying yes to a lot of a lot of situations, a lot of people, and I think too, my thing is I know that I can help people as well. So I say, yes, yes, just allow me to help you. So that has, and it's not the problem. I love doing that, but I think too when people don't really want it, and that's where I've had to differentiate the difference. They've also said yes just to be accommodating for me, and that's not good because my wanting to say yes, um, is not really what they want. So
Mm.
does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. That you know what?
So,
I always I think because of me saying yes all the time, and I know that I wanna say no, and I wanna and I mean no inside,
mm,
um, I give everybody an out, but I don't give myself an out.
mm,
Yeah, because of how I am, because I know I don't wanna do it, so I'm thinking about them, "Hey, if you don't wanna do it, it's okay. It's okay for you to say no. It's perfectly fine for you to say no." But when it comes to me, because, "Oh, no, I can do
of
it."
course, yeah. Now, another thing I wanted to bring up because, when we say yes because, we struggle to say no, a lot of the times too is feeling bad. Now, I know this may come under, being guilty, but coming across, saying no doesn't mean you're a bad person, okay? And a lot of the times, because of our childhood upbringing and everything, we have that little seed in our minds that saying no, you can come across as being rude, selfish, unkind. Um, these are learnings and beliefs that we may be carrying from, way back as being children.
Mm, yeah.
Do you ever wonder why it's so easy for some to say no? You know, have
Hmm,
you had people that you've asked something, they just straight up say no? I can't, no.
hmm.
And you think, how do they do that?
I
I mean,
wish.
it's great. They're being honest, but they're just they're saying no. And it's
Hmm,
okay. You say, okay, okay. But you think,
yeah,
I'm like admiring the fact that they can say no just like that without a qualm.
yeah. I would, I would like to imagine that I could say that just like that. I would like to be able to see that, but like what you said, I take it as selfish. I take it as a negative. I take it as, well, you just said no. You didn't even think twice. you
Yeah,
know, like what the,
exactly.
what didn't you hear what I'm asking for? You didn't hear the ask. You just said
Right,
no right away. Yeah, so that's what's going on in my mind.
right.
But
Because these
on
are subconscious beliefs, Zanetta, because sorry, not to break you here, just remember when we're children, we learned that saying no was impolite and inappropriate.
mm,
If you said no to your mum or dad or your uncle or your grandparents or any of your elders, how would you come across?
that is so true.
You
That
were
is
most likely considered to be, you know,
the bad child.
yeah, bad child,
Bad,
bad
bad.
boy. And you
Yeah.
probably would have been told off.
Yes.
I mean, I said no to my mum a few times, and that was not taken very lightly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I learned from my brothers because I have 7 older brothers, than me, so I learned from my brothers what not to do
Mm.
because I saw the discipline, the love taps.
The what? The love taps.
The love taps. We'll call it the love taps. And, so, I'm like, not gonna do that. I am not gonna get on the bad side of mom. Nope. And my
Right.
mom is a Filipina, straight up Filipina.
No, my mum's an Italian, Sicilian.
Ooh.
Uh,
Yeah.
what's worse?
Yeah, so that's the, gosh, I think, really do think that, yeah, it's ingrained in me, it's seared in my brain that no is a negative and it's bad.
Mm. So yeah, that's where we have to really, be aware of that that saying no is not a bad thing. It's not that bad.
Mm, mm,
And that we aren't being rude, because for us as children, saying no was off limits. It was just like not even thought of. I mean, let me tell you a story. Just
yes.
even when we were children, when as children you'd go visiting your family, you'd go and visit other families or your relatives and everything. And I don't know about, Filipinos, but Italians are very, you go and see someone and mum brings some food and the food all comes out, it's all displayed on the table and everything
Hmm.
like that. And as children, the chips would come out or, the nibblies or the good lollies and stuff would be on the table and we'd be sitting there on the couch. I mean, so tiny that our feet wouldn't even reach the ground. Our legs would be straight up like this on the couch.
Yeah.
And we'd be sitting there and we want to get those chips, right? Because we're eyeing off those chips and you want to like reach out. And we wouldn't reach out. We wouldn't even talk. We'd look at my dad or my mum, but more my dad. And if he nodded his head like that, then we would go and reach out for those chips. If there was no contact and no nod of the head, there was no way that we would move.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We would
Yeah.
sit there, regardless of whether it was all our favorite food sitting on that table, we would not move. So yeah, there was this relationship, this knowing, this no, yes, no, yes, which is totally, as you said, it's ingrained in us in a
Hmm.
very early age. And between 0, and 8, 7, that's where all our learnings are done as children. And that is then, brought and poured forth into our adult life.
Yeah.
So yeah, very interesting, isn't it?
Very, very interesting. So, like what I said when I saw this, I was like, "Oh yes, I'm guilty of this." So
Mhm.
what made you um, pick this topic?
Oh, because I am guilty of saying yes all the time, and I
Mhm.
think with with family,
Mm,
fa and friends, close friends. Not maybe more so with family for me, because, family to me means everything, and, I love my family, and as you know, I'm going through a period of, you know, caring for my parents, and they have aged, and things are changing, and I have to be very. I'm aware of that, and I'm also have to, have all this flexibility, and I don't want to disappoint them. I still want to be, the, the daughter that helps and doesn't want to say no. But I've had to set healthy boundaries, you see, and I've
mhm,
been feeling very guilty about saying no about certain things because, I have a life and not that I do a lot of things, but I've had to say no, not now. So I've had to learn to say no in a different way, put it across in a way that is not now or not when you want it, but
mm,
when it's going to fit in with my schedule and we're going to get it done, but not at this particular time because you want it now. And I think I've created those bad habits because I've always, said, yep, yep, yes, 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 and not being saying, not, I haven't said no. So therefore, they're used to that. They're used to like
yeah,
snapping their fingers, Stefania, Stefania, Stefania. Um, and I won't lie to you, sometimes, I'm in my office, I'm in my room, and we're just going downstairs, and all of a sudden I'll be asked to do lots of other things in a matter. I'm just walking to the kitchen to grab a drink, come back, and like, oh, Stefania, can you do it? Stefania, or the phone, can you get this phone? And it's just like, before it would distract me. I would get angry then because I wasn't completing what I had to do. So yeah, it was definitely a struggle. So I thought about it, and not only that, also relationships. Let's move on to you know partners and intimate relationships where we get caught up with saying yes when we really want to say no.
Mm.
There's a lot of, a lot of us out there. What's Anita say? Say no as a child growing up.
Anitress.
Anitras, sorry, yeah. Say
Mm-hmm.
no as a child
Was
growing up was a sign of disrespect. Yeah, exactly. Exactly what we're saying. But yeah, the relationship thing, which again, there's a lot of couples that are in relationships and are unable to set healthy boundaries to start off with, because that's where it starts, being able to be open, honest, and truthful, setting those boundaries and then sticking to them.
mm.
And if there is a change, it's okay to say, I feel a different way about this now, or I need to shift this, so I can't do it then. We may need to do it after. So there's a no and yes. But some
Mm-hmm.
people are afraid to do that. And then either don't show up, don't keep their word and think it's just going to wither away. And it creates massive, issues in relationships.
Yeah, yeah. I think you made a you alluded to it, but when you said that your family or whoever it is gets so used to you saying yes that they now expect this.
Mm.
That's their expectation. So it's the same thing with spouse, isn't it? Because they're so used to you saying yes, 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 that
Hmm.
when you finally say no, it's like, what? What do you mean no? Kind
Right.
of things. It becomes an issue. Or when the spouse keeps on saying yes, 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 they're becoming overwhelmed. And I think Monica had said it earlier. What did she say? I'm gonna scroll. Burnout brings bitterness.
Mm.
When you're
Absolutely.
burnt out. Yeah, yeah. So when you start to burn out like that, um, it does. It becomes it becomes bitterness, and like what you said, you get angry. You get resentful. You become resentful.
Right. And see, then what happens, Renee Jones,
Hmm. When you
when you
say
say,
no, they look.
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
When they say no, they look at you like you said no. just just the look on their faces. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And thank you for joining in and commenting, Renee and Anitra. This is, by the way, from Renee Jones.
Mm.
So, for those of you that would like to know where I get this from, it's from Renee. Thank you, Renee. Yeah, and I think that's what I don't want to see is their look on their face. I don't want to see that. I don't know.
What
Uh,
does that do for you? You see, that's the other thing. Why is that? That's a trigger. That's something that, mm,
it's like I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to see your face. I don't want to deal with it. Let me just do it. That's how I feel about
mm.
it, and that's how. Um, okay, let me just do it now. You know, when I think I said no one time, I didn't say no. I just said I won't be able to do it until this time. And when I said that, this individual was like, "What do you mean?"
Just as I said. What did
Because
you
I'm
say?
thinking in my head, I have this, I have this, I have this. Well, I won't be able to get to it until this date.
Mm.
And so the person was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean you can't do that? What do you mean?" So then I said, "Well, what about you? How long would you have done it? So then the individual, well, I can do it in this. Well, then congratulations. Why don't you do it? So it became like a, see, I knew I should have just said yes. Oh, you what are you reading? You're reading all of this. This is a long one. This is a long comment. Oh my goodness.
It's a book.
I don't think we can bring this up because it'll get rid of you and I. Um uh, that's a dissertation right there.
Mhm.
Woof. Okay.
You can maybe do a blog out of that one.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this one can be an actual book. A quick read. Thank you, Monica, for this. I want to say a dissertation here. A comment. We can't bring it up because it's going to be so much. Yeah. Woo. Okay. Oh,
She says some of her homework is merging.
yes. So we won't bring that up because then somebody's doing the same homework might copy it from you.
Don't want that.
So yeah, so that made me feel like, see, I should have just said no.
Right.
And just to further that is that after that little back and forth, I got quiet and I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Because I just didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear all of the other things and the disdain on the face and the tone of the voice. And I just, okay, you know what? I got it. I'll do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And don't want to rock the boat.
Yeah. That's true.
We just don't want to upset anyone. It's always about them. It's always about not wanting to hurt anyone. It's always about not upsetting anyone. It's always about coming across as being, obliging, polite,
Mm,
respectful.
yeah.
Where do you draw the line?
Where do you draw? Help us, Stefania. Especially me.
Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? Well, it's a long one. We need to do a session,
Yeah.
Zanetta.
It's a long line. The line is long.
But, there's a lot of contributing factors and a lot of questions that need to be asked, and a lot of, you know, how important are you to you? How important are things, values and all that? Because
Ugh, that just hit me. How important are you to you? Oh my
right,
god.
how important are you to you?
Why
And I
you
ask
just why you
myself,
just do that, Stefania? You just went ahead and pulled the arrow and just okay, as a spouse, I think they feel you saying no or not right now, you you just committed a crime. Who don't you say that? Yes, I felt like I committed a crime. When it's a friend, they are so used to you saying yes, they feel that you are not yourself and quick to say, "What's wrong with you?" Don't I always get that? We say yes. Let me see. We say yes so much just not to hurt the others, but what about what we are feeling to say no? Mm, the line is endless. Yes, it is. It is endless, very endless. And mostly we don't count ourselves in.
yeah. Have you ever had anyone say to you, "I love you, but I love myself more"?
No.
I have.
You know what? You know what popped into
I
my
learned a
head?
lot from that. I learned a lot from that. I love you. I really love you, but I love myself more.
You know
What
what
do you say?
popped into my head?
What's that?
What my immediate response was, "How arrogant."
Right. But you know what?
But
It
it
sounds arrogant.
it's true.
Truth. It's
I
true
mean,
because really, at
it
the end of the day, how can I love you, really love you, if I don't love myself to
yeah.
love you? You know what I mean? Really. And this person, yeah, when they said it to me, they didn't say it arrogantly. That's why I didn't take it like, oh my god, how rude. It was true because it was basically saying, I have to do this for me. I have to do
Mhm.
this. It's important for me. As
Yeah.
much as you're important, I have to do this to be, of value to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. So true. Renee
Renee
said that
said.
she hasn't heard it, but she sure had told them. I'm gonna have
They
to learn from you too, Renee. Yeah, I think that's a learning. You have to relearn that. We talk about self love, we talk about all these other things, self care, self love. But the more and more we have these conversations on Friday, the more and more it's revealing that we really don't do it. We say it, but we don't do it. You know, so today I'm guilty. Last week I'm not.
Yeah.
Last week I'm not. I guess because when somebody's calling or texting, you can control that. But when you're actually talking to them, that's when I can't say no.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that interesting? When they're actually on the line with me.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's really
I have um I've even said this. I don't do that anymore. I'm not in that business anymore. And then I wound up saying yes at the end
mm.
because of what the individual is saying. And then come to the end, it's like, seriously, I did all this work and you're just, oh, okay. you know, all right. Thank you very much for, yeah, just,
Exactly. Or
just
yeah,
training.
like that again, or where you've allowed yourself to be back in that same position. So you remember from last time what happened, and you kind of swear to yourself, "I'm never ever going to put myself in that position or say yes again. I'm going to say no next time," because you know there's going to be another next time, and then that another situation but similar scenario comes up, and you find yourself saying yes again.
Yes. Yeah,
Doesn't that feel horrible?
it does. It, it does. Yeah, it does feel horrible. And I'm just finding myself guilty on some of these shows that we have. Thank you, Stefania. Thank you very much.
That was not my
Appreciate you.
that was not my intent. I
No,
think
no,
I
no.
think
Yes, it
but
was.
mm,
No.
this is something that I think, because I really enjoy talking about topics that I have personally have, um, undergone and
Mhm.
experienced, because that way I can speak from my own. And I think too, for me, it's been also very liberating to be able to speak about it. I mean, because I don't know who's going to watch these shows. This is
Right.
public. This is all
Yeah.
out there, and it's freeing. It's very freeing, and it's healing. It's
Yeah.
very, very healing. And when we can actually talk about things, and the amount of people that reach out to me and say, "Oh my God, Stefania, I feel the same way. Oh my God, you tapped on a topic that really, um, I've experienced and not
Yeah.
been able to speak about, or we have topped on. You've actually your topics as well. That was a great because that's what it's about. We want to talk about real things and
Yes.
how to deal with it and
Yeah.
live life because we're born into this life not to suffer. That's the thing. That's the ego that puts us in that position to make us feel all that, low vibrational, emotions of guilt and fear and sadness and happiness and
Mhm.
all that overwhelm. No, we're not here for that.
Right.
We've been given a life to experience and joy and happiness. And what happens externally, we do have control of ourselves internally as to how we
Mhm.
respond to that.
Yeah.
Not, we can we're not we're able to um, act or react in a way that is okay. And our past experiences, our hurts, our betrayals, our they're just experiences. They're not who we are. They're just
Right.
something we've undergone and endured to make us
Mhm.
who we are.
Yeah.
So I think, my message to people is if you are or have been or still are in that position of saying yes when you want to say no, don't beat yourself up. Know that you can say no.
Yeah.
Know that you can change your mind and speak from your heart. Speak from a place of authenticity. Just go within your heart. And when you can do that, you're free. And if that person's going to jump up and down and make you feel like you've just committed a crime, hey, they can't make you feel anything. That's their reaction.
Mm.
That's their story. It's not your truth. It's not your
Yeah.
story. And if you can
Yeah.
remind yourself of that,
Mhm.
there's no need to feel guilty. I
Right.
did the best I could, and you're doing it in another way. And it may be that you can't do it, period.
Mhm.
So be it, because it could be detrimental for your own health or your own well-being. Don't forget that. People are undergoing promises to please others, but it's not doing them any justice in their own lives.
Mm.
Their health, especially their health.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's okay to say no.
It is okay to say no. Now, I do have a question for you.
For me,
Yes, I do. I
go
have a
ahead.
question for you. So, um, when you have described this show, and the description that you have put on there, I wanted to know. I was curious about, what is this? When you had described it as these fears are heightened for sensitive strivers, highly sensitive, high achievers who tend to overthink situations and have a hard time setting boundaries. So, what is sensitive strivers and highly sensitive high achievers?
Mm,
Because I'm a sensitively high achiever.
right. And I think you and I both, I was talking about myself, but there's a lot of people that like you and everyone else, we're very sensitive. And I think we're coming into that, era and world where there's awakening. We are not just we know that we're more than just a body. We're more than just, you know, what you see. There's an energy, there's a soul, and we're connecting to that. So that sensitivity there, is goes back even to, the empath, that
Mhm,
highly sensitive person that we feel everything, like,
mhm,
and it vibrates through our bodies, 100% speed. So we feel it more. We're high achievers. We want to be perfect. We want to be, you know, doing things right. We want to be of service. We want to make this world a better place, and help people reach their goals faster with less pain, because we've been through that pain and we don't want you to go through that pain. Come on, let's face it. We want that for everybody, right? So
yeah,
at the same time, this is why we have found ourselves in that loop of saying yes all the time and unable to say no.
right.
So and yeah, I guess I was describing, myself, which probably pertains to a lot of people out there as well. So that caught your eye? Is that what you?
Yes, it did. It did. It caught my eye because it hit me like whoa, oh, that's me. And then when you describe it as these are the fear, because when you read it and when you see it and then when you see yourself in it, it becomes now a front, you're now aware of it because all of this other things is my natural or normal um, reaction or response would always be yes. But when I saw that, I'm like, wow, that yes, it's a fear. Um, and I want to come across as perfect. I want to be that perfect friend. I want to be that, perfect business coach. I want to be that perfect coach. I want to be that perfect mentor. I want to be that perfect wife, perfect mom. The list goes on and on and on. Perfect, employee. you
Yeah,
know,
in
uh,
everything that we do.
yeah. So, so when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, that hit hard. It did.
Yeah. But having said that too, I've also learnt how to let go of that. I'm aware of that, but I've learnt to, slowly, because if we remind ourselves who we are, we're not that. We're not our business. We're not that, that coach. We're not, that's what we do, but that's not what makes us, right?
Mm,
So if we detach ourselves from that, it just makes it a lot easier in when we do things, I
mm,
think,
yeah.
and we're then coming from a place of just serving, and it's okay. Everything is perfect in itself.
Mm,
Everything. Even when at the times that it just feels so overwhelming, there's always a positive, or there's always a learning, there's always something that comes out of it.
mm,
That's what's so much growth for me, so much, you know,
yeah.
wow, aha moments. And I truly
Yeah.
say that. And I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and I said, "You know what? I'm really happy where I'm at. I'm really happy where I'm at in the world, in Australia, because I know, I've traveled everywhere, and I used to get so hung up, and I think, no, there's a reason why I'm here, and it's okay. It's okay. I'm very, very happy. I'm still connected to loving people, friends, and yeah, you make your own happiness. You make it happen. And yeah, there's other things that I'd like to be doing, but it's okay. It's perfect for now. It just is perfect.
I like that.
And
It's
of
perfect
course,
for now.
and of course, I went dancing last week because you saw that in my post.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, so much fun. That I really encourage that to people, to singles, for couples to get into, dancing, doing something different together. It's just so much fun, and don't get too serious about it. Just go
Mhm.
out there, move your body. And, you know, as couples, it's a great way to get intimate too, because, if you're picking a nice, sexy dance move that you're doing it with your other half, it definitely brings you together as a couple. There's just no
Mm,
doubt about that at all.
yeah. 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 This has been really great and very enlightening.
It
So,
has. Even
so give us some steps. Give us some steps that, that we can immediately like put in our brains. Even though I know I'm going to say yes right away, but then I'm like, oh, you know what? I won't be able to do it. Catch
I
myself in midstream. So what are the
I
steps that we should tell ourselves to be able to say no for us that can't say no?
well, I mentioned this earlier, knowing your value,
Mm,
right, is realizing that you are valuable. and that choosing your own opinion or choosing your own yes or no is about you. It's you putting yourself first without feeling guilty, but knowing that this is truthfully the right thing for you and the other person.
Mhm.
Even though they may disagree with you, because that's what it is. You're reacting to their disagreement. You're reacting to their non-approval of you saying no. Hello?
Mm. Mhm.
I got you
Mhm.
thinking.
Yes. Yes.
So, and it's okay. And maybe that no may be a mistake or a not right, but you can go back and turn it around. You can go back and change it. Nothing's fixed. Nothing's concrete. So knowing your value.
Mm. That's good.
Is it really worth it? Putting yourself through that painstaking, you know,
Agony.
commitment. What's that?
Agony.
Yeah,
Agonizing through it. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Because that again, you start creating stories in your head.
Mhm.
Um, don't get into the apologetic. Oh, I'm sorry, apologize. Don't need to do that because I think sometimes we can get caught up in the apology.
You know what? That is one thing about Filipinos, that we have this. It's
Sorry,
it's
sorry.
it's it's instant. It's instant. It's an instant apology. Um, and you're gonna laugh. When somebody is borrowing money,
Mm.
we immediately apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry, I can't give it to you right now. Or, well, I'm so sorry, I can only give you, this much. I'm thinking, why do we need to apologize?
Exactly.
I think it's that guilt feeling of,
Absolutely.
yeah, and it's Filipinos everywhere.
Yeah. Well, it's not only that, it's even Italians. Trust me.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. They say they're very arrogant in that, but they're not. They do get into that apologetic, you know, and give all sorts of reasons because
Yes.
because, another one, and we can get caught up in this. Don't lie,
Mm. Oh.
because lying will only lead you to more guilt because you think
And
you want to say what, justify yourself or you need to cover yourself. No, there's no need.
mm. And the lies only get you more lies, right? To cover up the first lie.
And then you forget about what lies you said, and then you're in more of a problem,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, remember that it's better to say no than be resentful later because you've done it before. You know what it feels like to feel that anger and that resentment afterwards. And, really, is it worth it?
Hmm. Hmm. I like that. It's better to say no than to deal with the resentment.
Yeah, because
And
yes.
you know what? And it's better to say no and then surprise him later with a yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it as well.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
And yeah, so they're my little tips. I think there's a lot more, obviously, but I think not to overwhelm everyone. I think just be honest with yourself. Just really get honest. And uh, I think because it's obviously there's a build-up of years of this, so you didn't create this overnight. It's been a
Mhm.
build-up. So you need to work on it to chip away at these emotions and how to It doesn't mean you're not going to feel anger anymore ever again, or it doesn't mean you're not going to feel sadness or rejection, but you're going to be able to deal with it in a different way once you
Yeah.
remove emotions. And
Yeah.
that's, with what I do with my therapy in, the hypnosis and NLP sessions, the first emotion we have to get rid of is anger, because
Yeah.
anger, above all, it just puts that wall up. And
Mm,
unless that's taken down and, resolved, there is no way there can be any penetration of moving forward, of putting even new
mm,
um, ways of doing things, new habitual behaviors. So it has to be dissolved. It has to come down. And sometimes it takes longer. Depends how much anger we're wanting to hang on to for extended periods of,
mhm,
because it's not about how much anger we have as compared to someone else. No, it's about how resistant we are in not wanting to let it go.
mm. That's good. That is good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
is.
that's my tippets for today. How to stop saying yes and not
Yeah,
feel guilty about saying no. Just, when you really want to say no.
yeah, yes. So, she said because people create reasons to fall out, then they are no longer accountable. Ooh, right? The lies. Um, and yes, it is straight out of James. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. It saves you. It saves your soul. It should be soul from the pit, because you're committed to your word. Yes. Is it always? We have here. Is it always a choice? Kenny Kasamo.
Kinney. Hi, Kinney. Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Is it always
my
a choice?
a choice of what? Is it a choice to say yes as choice to say no? Is that what you mean? A little bit more explanation there, because it is what is
Hi.
ultimately a choice. We
Yeah.
choose. We choose. Really, it is a choice.
Yeah.
We choose to say yes, or we choose to say no.
But it's how we
Um,
choose, isn't it?
yes,
Yeah. Because I
it,
always choose to say yes
right.
when I actually really mean no, to allow someone in or not.
Absolutely. Is it a choice? Is that's what he's saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 It's always a choice if we allow one person in or not, whether they say yes or no, or um, because of that anger. We expect them to say yes, and when they say no, we get angry. So it's us. It's up to us to choose whether we take it or not.
Right. So we have our little tidbits on how to deal with our yeses when we really want to say no.
Yes.
If any of you out there have any other questions or want to, talk about this a little bit more, or are struggling, please reach out. Don't feel like you can't, because this is real stuff. This is
Yeah. Yeah.
real situations. Kinney says, even, you want to bring that one up, Senator? Even,
If you don't want to get hurt again.
yeah, but you don't want to get hurt. The only way you're going to get hurt is if you keep doing the same thing, I
Over.
think.
Over and over again.
Yeah, you've got to do it differently. If it's not working, it's got to be different. And, you've got to expect that there may be some emotions involved. But as I said earlier, it's how we react to them, how we deal with them, how fast do we let go of certain emotions? Are we
Hmm.
prepared to let go of them a lot quicker, or are we still wanting to hang on
Mm,
and hold on to that resentment a lot longer? I know with certain emotions, certain actions, certain situations, years ago, I would hang on to them for months, years. I won't lie, and now within a couple of days, they're gone. It goes back months, and then only a couple of weeks you're hanging on to something, and then it's gone, and then it's days. Sometimes, for some people, it's even hours, minutes, or just brush it off. Some
mhm,
people just brush it off quickly. It's just because they know their truth, they know their worth, they know who they are, and it's always that person projecting onto you their story. And
mhm.
you say, am I prepared to take on that story and make it my own as well? Because it's only their projection.
Right.
And don't be afraid to say, Kinney says it's been years for me. We need to talk,
Mhm,
Kinney. I told you this, we need to chat. But, you know, we don't be afraid to tell that somebody, that's not my truth. That's not my story.
right.
Because when you tell them that in a way that's genuinely, hey, that's not my truth. That's not my story. That's not what I said. Because,
Mhm.
sometimes people will have a way of putting words in your
Yeah.
mouth,
Mhm.
planting the seed. Now that's hypnotic. That's what people do unconsciously too. So, yeah, you are saying to them, uh-uh, it's putting a boundary,
Yeah.
putting that boundary.
Yeah.
And it's okay to do that because you're not hurting them, you're not offending them. You just say, that's not my truth. That's not my story. What can they say? They might jump up and down, and that's okay. They're entitled. Then that's when you have to know that they're also entitled to have
With
their own.
whatever emotions, yes.
Yeah, they're entitled to have their own emotional outburst. It's got nothing to do with you. Yeah. Well, this has been so interesting, hasn't it, Zanetta?
Yes. Yes. Really good. Really good. So, yeah, really. I mean, we can go on forever, but we're already at an hour and 12 minutes. Um,
Yes.
and my battery is actually going down. I didn't plug in. So, um, but yeah, this is really, really good. Great conversations, great topics, and like what you said, for those that would want to, reach out and get some more help, Stefania, there's Stefania at thegentleman'square.com, or, Zanetta at redefineme.org. We are here to help, to be of service, to have a conversation of real issues that we actually face today, especially um, these times that we're living in. You're
Yeah.
welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, Kenny. Thanks for dropping in.
Yes. Thank you so much.
And Monica,
So
you as well.
next week, I am going to give out the topic.
Mm.
Juicy. Okay, so because we were talking about yes or no and I already had this topic in mind, it came to me on Tuesday. Do we put too much pressure on ourselves? Do we put too much pressure on ourselves? Um, I think we need to talk about mental health. Um, you know, um, some of the things that we suffer mentally, and we're going to be talking about what happened to Miss America. Did you hear about that?
Oh, what happened to Miss America?
So Miss America, Miss Alabama. I'm sorry, not Miss America. Well, she's a Miss America, but she's Miss Alabama. Her name is Zoe Sozo, and you would think that she would have a perfect life. You think that she had this, glamorous, very intelligent, very beautiful, wearing an actual real tiara, being called Miss America, winning this prestigious pageant, but wind up um, committing suicide.
Oh my
So,
god, that
yeah,
shivered my spine.
yeah. So we're going to talk about the different things that we put pressure on ourselves, the different things that we think that yes, the land of Forrest Gump. Yes. Yeah. Um, so yeah, we need to bring this in the forefront because with social media, we have this facade that everything looks glamorous, everything is great, everybody is, doing great. No issues whatsoever. We're not having any issues. We don't have any issues saying no.
Exactly, exactly. No, laugh? No, no,
Oh yes, yeah, yeah. So yes, well, we're gonna talk about that.
no.
I didn't want to talk about it as when it happened, but yes, it is recent. It is recent. Kenny wanted to know if it was recent. It's too raw during that time, and I didn't want. A lot of people were talking about it during that time, but I wanted to give um, reverence to.
How long's it been, Zanetta? When did this all happen?
Gosh, I think it's about 3, 4. Hold on, let me. I think it's about. Gosh, let me. It's you can Google her, and it's all over.
Mm,
Um, the January.
2022?
Yes,
Oh, that is recent.
very recent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. It was a talk of the everyone here, but I wanted to give reverence and solace to the family and friends because it
Mm,
was a shocker to everyone, to her family and friends, and I wanted to give her that reverence. And I know that we all suffer some type of mental illness, some type of too much pressure because of the social media, because of the influencers, because of how we're supposed to show up in the world. We're supposed
mm,
to say yes all the time.
yeah.
But today we learned we don't need to.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and these are the topics that we've been talking about, the things that people don't want to talk about, but needs to be. We need to real issues, real issues. So that's what we'll be talking about next week. So tune in next week.
Yeah.
Stefania, go ahead and take us away.
Yes. Okay. So, Zanetta, do you want to say anything about this topic? Any
Yes, I really, really enjoyed this, Stefania. This has been a very enlightening topic. Just a, I mean, I have issues. I really do. And I will always, tell the truth, on social media. I'm not perfect, but I want, I present to be perfect. I'm a perfectionist, and so it's one of my issues. I want to, I show perfect. I want to be this perfect person, So yeah, this is a learning, this very knowledgeable, and thank you for the tips. I will be using those, and for me to grow, for me to be able to say no. Watch out, you might be
No.
whoever asks me something, you might be the first one to hear me say no. Don't take it personal. I'm just loving me more than I love you.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. You'll know because you're just going to be valuing yourself. And,
Yeah.
it's okay. That's what we've got to keep
Yes.
reminding ourselves. It's okay.
Yes.
Mm.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Stefania.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As always, we always have some lovely people chiming in and leaving some great comments. If you catch this on the replay, please drop us a line,
Hashtag replay.
hashtag replay, and let us know your thoughts. If there's any topics you'd like us to talk about, please reach out. As Zanetta said, if you want to speak to someone, we're here to chat. You know, we're offering that to you because, a lot of the times people don't know what we're feeling. We put on a facade and deep down we're really hurting. So we've been there, we've done that. So that's why we're here to serve and to be of service. So don't feel
Yes.
like you can't. And it's only going to be a conversation. So don't feel like you're being wound into doing anything. No, you may just need a sounding board, a new pair of ears, someone that you doesn't really know you, so to speak, and
Yeah.
just let it out. Because once we let it out, you see, that's the magic. Once we just release it,
Yeah.
um, and a lot of us, we've all got something we've never ever told anybody. And it just sits so heavy on our hearts, and we just need to let it out. And by telling someone that doesn't know you and it kind of means nothing to us, I say that in a loving way because we're not attached to the emotion like
Right.
you are, then it's relief for you. It's all about letting
Yeah.
it go, releasing and letting go. So yeah, take advantage of our presence here.
Yes.
um yeah, so thanks once again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zanetta, once again.
Yes.
And love and passion to everybody. And we'll see you next week again on
Yes.
Fun Fresh Fridays.
Woo-hoo! Oh, let me answer this question really quick. Kenny, where are you from, Zanetta? If you don't mind me asking, I don't mind you asking. I am originally from the Philippines, so I'm a Filipina, but I am in the U.S. So
Yes,
there
she
you go.
is.
And Renee said, "Thank you, ladies. Have a good night and good
Thank
weekend."
you.
Thank you so much for everyone for tuning in. Until next time, go ahead, Stefania. I love your little
Sending you love and passion. Bye for now.
bye for
Thanks.
now.
Bye.